Hey, we're here with the brand new Deere 3D series. Now this tractor is a gear drive transmission, but it's still in the 3 series frame size. A lot like the 3E tractors, but it's a pure gear drive. Now, it's not a power reverser, it's not a hydrostatic, it's pure gear. So that means every time you want to change gears, you have to engage the clutch. It's traditional, like other tractors of years and years. It's got the 2 individual brakes on the right-hand side, the clutch on the left-hand side. Those of you who had a Deere 790 or 770, 755 gear drive, this will be very familiar. We're going to see if we can find somebody to tell us all about this tractor. Hey, we're here with Demark today. Demark is a product manager for the 3 and 4 series tractors. We wanted to understand what's going on with this new 3D tractor, and I hear that Demark is the guy to tell us about that. Demark, thanks for taking a few minutes to talk with us.
No, thank you for
What do
stopping
we
by.
have going here?
So here we're at the National Farm Machinery Show, and we're introducing our new 3D series tractor. And so this tractor, aesthetically, it kind of looks similar to what we currently have in the market, our 3E tractor, but it's a totally different tractor than our 3E for a couple of big reasons. So first of all, we'll just kind of start with the front of the tractor. So this tractor shares the same loader as our 3E, so the same lifting capacity on the 300E loader there. Horsepower levels, you have 25, 35, and 43. Unlike the 3E series tractor where it's 25, 32, and 38, so you get a little bit more power out of this tractor. This tractor, one big difference is we have a gear drive transmission in this tractor versus our traditional hydrostatic in our other compact utility tractors. So you get, it's an 8x8 transmission, so you get 8 speeds in both forward and reverse direction. And this tractor, the chassis of it is a lot heavier than what we have in our 3E tractor today. Okay. So we're talking about 300-400 pounds heavier. So with that added weight, we can actually lift a little bit more on the rear end as well. So you get about 1,600 pounds of lift capacity on the rear end.
How about the frame sizes compared to the other 3Es? Are the dimensions similar?
So the dimensions are similar to a 3E, but like I say, the weight is much different. So it is a little bit longer wheelbase than a 3E by a couple of inches, but the weight is a significant difference.
Width about the same?
Width is about the same.
One thing I'm questioning immediately is the low end of a horsepower range, the 3025 would be the same on each one. As we get larger, the horsepower of the 3D increases more and they kind of diverge. Do they still map largely on the size other than the horsepower, or is that?
Yep. So we had those same concerns during our development, and we've sent it out and tested it with customers, even in not only on flat terrain but on hilly terrain as well, and that 25 horsepower performed great.
Okay. Now, a 43 horsepower tractor in this size is a bit unusual in the industry, and especially with that gear drive transmission, it should have a lot of pulling power.
Oh yeah. Yep. And that was the intent of this tractor, is to be used as more of a pulling tractor, right? So there were 2 customer segments we were focusing on: the property owners. So that's a customer that's looking for a low-cost machine to manage his or her property, whether it's light loader work, rotary cutting, rotary tilling, box blading. But also we were focusing on the commercial market, applications like nurseries, orchards, vineyards, and where this tractor won't necessarily be used as the main tractor in that operation. We have other tractors within our tractor portfolio to meet those needs, like low-profile tractors, narrow tractors. But this tractor would be used more of a support vehicle to do what we were just talking about: pull wagons of fruit, vegetables, and even portable restrooms around that operation.
Okay. What kind of max speed do you have in 8th gear?
Yep. So in 8th gear, the top speed on this tractor, we were looking at, if I remember correctly, I'll check the specs for sure, but I think it was around 15, 16 miles an hour.
Okay. Very nice. Now, how about pricing? Just at first, I would think that the D series ought to be a little bit cheaper than the E series for a couple of reasons. Number one, D's less than E.
Yep.
But another reason is, I was always taught that a gear drive transmission was cheaper than a hydrostatic transmission. What about the pricing?
So from a pricing standpoint, if you look at it for horsepower, yes, this tractor is slightly lower cost than our 3E tractor. So 25 horsepower is where we actually line up in between these 2 series. And so you're looking about $1,000 lower cost on the D versus the E.
But then on the higher horsepowers, they diverge again.
Yep. So that delta kind of reverse, because you get a little bit more power. Like I said, you get 35 in the next step here. On the 3E, you got a 32. So you get a little bit more power and even more discrepancy once you go to a 38 versus a 43. So
like all of the 3E tractors, the 3D fuel tank is behind the seat. This one's molded very nicely such that it doesn't get in the way of the 3-point hitch at all. On some of the other 3E tractors, it actually comes up over the fender. It doesn't do that here. It doesn't look like a huge fuel tank. I don't really know how big it is, but it doesn't take up very much useful space. It really looks well designed in that sense. Looking at these arms here, the lift arms, they're telescoping. When you raise this up, you don't have an attachment on, you can pull that arm outward, and that'll make it a lot easier to hook onto something. It's a simple feature, but sometimes it's not even available, and often if it is available, it's an option. I suspect it's an option on this tractor as well, but it's a nice to have feature. That way you don't have to back up to the attachment perfectly. If you get within 3 or 4 inches, you trip this lever, you can pull your eye match or your direct arm out, hook it right onto your mower without any lifting or straining. Here's an example on another tractor. It doesn't work quite the same, but in this case you move this over and you can telescope that arm out. Now you don't run with it like that. You just pull it out just to attach. Notice it'll go up and down. It gives you a lot of flexibility. You slide it right on your pin, and then you can get back in your tractor and back right in, and it will lock. Okay? So it's going to make it a lot easier to hitch and unhitch your 3-point hitch items. Now from this distance you can actually see the size difference. It feels a little bit different. I think these tires are bigger. This is the 3035D here. This is the 3025E here. So a little more horsepower on this one. There's 3 models of the D series: 3025D, the 35D, what you see here, and the 43D as well. This one looks a little bit taller than the 25. Same loader, as I said. There's a lot of similarities. All the joystick looks the same. A little bit of difference in the way the cup holders are laid out, but there's a lot of similarities. The main difference is the transmission. I actually had to ask for help to figure out what this was. This is a foot throttle. So you have a choice of the hand throttle or the foot throttle. Just push it like that. You can accelerate the throttle. That's a nice handy feature. Gear drive for loader work might not be optimal. You have to shift more often. You have to clutch more often. It might not be perfect. But if you're doing any ground engaging implement, like a plow or disc or something that actually pulls the drawbar or 3-point hitch, a gear drive will transfer much more power to the ground. So for some people, this may be a perfect tractor. While we're here, I thought we'd take just a quick look at this new 6250R. That's quite an interesting tractor because usually they've never had that horsepower range in the 6 series. Usually it was originally only the 8, and then they began to increase the horsepower on the 7 series. Now the 6 series has up to 250, and this is PTO horsepower. On the small tractors, the engine horsepower is usually what listed in the last 3 digits. At this tractor, it's the PTO horsepower, up to 300 engine horsepower here. This tractor is made in Mannheim, Germany. So it says here that the rear 3-point hitch has 10.5 tons of lift capacity, 21,000 pounds rear lift capacity. In a 6 series, I find this to be an unusual tractor, a huge tractor. What we saw in Germany and what we heard in Germany was that the 6 series was their big seller. So they probably just decided to make a larger tractor in that line rather than going to the bigger 8R series or 7R series. It takes 4 steps to get up in this thing. Now this has got the command control lever, which I didn't have in the one in Germany. With one joystick you can control the speed. It's like driving a video game. And the whole platform rotates. So if you want to turn back to see your implement, bye-bye. What an operator station. Hey Christy, it's even got a buddy seat for you.
I like that.
Can I make tractor noises now? Wow, very nice. I need one. No, I have no need for one of these. I'm just joking. Maybe I can talk Brother Tom into getting one. Okay, so this is a common occurrence at the farm show. You'll have some Asian guys with their cameras out. A lot of times they will have pencil and paper out, but they'll take a picture of every single angle on a new tractor. They make no bones about what they're doing. They're doing whatever they can to try to steal this technology. Yeah, look at the detail that he's taking the picture of there. Demark, thank you very much for taking the time with us today. Thank you, Tim. And we'll see you next time on Tractor Time with Tim.